Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about something I've been talking about for a long time, and it's the Ukraine war with Russia. And what I intend to do is basically to look at the leaders' charts. Now, there has been discrepancy, I will say, for Vladimir Putin's chart as to it being correct or not. But we do have Zelenskyy. And I just wanted to see where it's going. And it looks very evident where it's going. First of all, I'm going to say this. They are destroying each other. That's the main thing I see in these charts. So let me scoot over and show you these charts that I think are going to make a world of difference of what's going on with these two countries. So when I pull up Zelenskyy's chart, I was astounded by the fact that his moon sits at 24 degrees of Cancer. And the reason why I couldn't help but be astounded by that, the solar eclipse is 25 degrees of Cancer in August. So this will be actually August 12th. But when an eclipse happens, it's like it's there to stay. And then not to mention that coming up here quite soon, when Mars goes into Cancer, let me look that up in my trusty ephemeris. Mars will go into Cancer around September 18th. And it will be on his moon by around the beginning of March. I'm sorry, the beginning of November. The beginning of November, Mars will be on his moon at around 24 degrees of Cancer. So what's happening right now in July, August, is that K2 is right on his Saturn, 5 degrees of Leo, transiting K2. And his Saturn in his birth chart rules the 10th house of his career, his job, his social standing, and K2 is loss. So K2 is going to be on his Saturn, planet of loss. Now, as I speak here in July and August, Saturn is stationing around 20 degrees of Pisces. And therefore, it is exactly squaring by its 100% aspect Mercury at 21 degrees of Sagittarius. There is just a lot of difficult aspects here. It's terrible what he's going through. So his Mercury is in the 8th house. And the 8th house is endings and death. Saturn is aspecting it. And Mercury in his chart does rule the 2nd house of money, the 5th house of his mind. So he is messed up and financially at a huge loss. All right, let's pull up Vladimir Zelensky's. I'm sorry, not Vladimir. Yeah, Vladimir Putin, I'm sorry. Let's pull up his chart. And this is the one that they say could be wrong, but I'm going to use what I have because his sun sits at 20 degrees of Virgo. Saturn is exactly opposing a sun at 20 Pisces. So people with Virgo planets are being bombarded by Saturn, and even Neptune's in Pisces. But Saturn there is really exhausting him. He's exhausted. This is like the end. And here is another thing I want you to take note of. Notice where Putin's K2 sits at 26 degrees of Cancer. So it sits exactly on Zelenskyy's moon. So this is like a great loss that Zelenskyy is going through on account of Putin. He is his terrible sore spot in his life, ruining his life. K2's loss. But where the eclipse is going at 25 degrees of Cancer will be on Zelensky's moon, but it will be on Putin's K2. So he's basically headed for a nodal return, but that eclipse on his K2 means radical shifts and changes. And his K2 sits in his 10th house of his work career. That is why I'm essentially saying they are destroying each other. Who will win in this? Well, Zelensky's in for a long, hard road ahead, because not only when Saturn goes back in about 6 months to station before it goes direct again, it will be on Zelensky's K2. So let me see, when Saturn goes back to around those degree markings, which will be, Saturn will be at 14 degrees. Wow, it goes back that quick. By November, in its stationing, it will be on Zelensky's K2 and opposing his Rahu. In the 11th house, Zelensky has no friends, he has no help. It doesn't look good for him at all. And then when I go over here to Putin's chart, that 14 degree mark doesn't really hit anything precisely, but I will say Saturn is close to aspecting his moon by its third full aspect. It's around 10 degrees, but looking at that, what right now sits at 9 degrees 42 minutes, almost 10 degrees, is Uranus. If Putin's chart is correct, something dire is going to happen to him, because his moon sits in the 8th house and Uranus is the planet of unexpected shifts and changes, and that goes for right now in July. So he's in a horrific place. It's almost like they're going to kill each other. Almost like that. And that is probably figuratively what is happening to both these men. If they don't stop, it's just going to be the ruination of the both of them. Both of their charts look terrible. And I just can't say who is going to win in this. I don't think anyone wins in this war. That's what I'm going to leave this at. So I hope you've enjoyed this quick analysis, looking at where the transiting planets are for the both of them and where things are headed. So I think, gosh, Mars is going to go back and forth in Cancer, so it's going to affect both of these individuals, particularly Zelensky. He's got it rough, and it doesn't look like it's going to turn around. So with that, I think I'll close. If you would like more information on me, if you would like to get my free newsletter, go to galacticcenter.org. Sign up. Don't forget, if you want to know how these transits are affecting you personally in your chart, you want to get my Galactic Planner. It's an app. So you can buy it on the App Store, and or you can learn more about the planner by going to our website. Go to galacticcenter.com. And if you want to learn from me, become my student, semester 1 starting, go to universityofvedicastrology.com. Thank you.